Welcome back, America. There's no doubt one of the biggest elections in 2026 will take place in Michigan, where both the U.S. Senate and governor's race is up, and one of the big battlegrounds in America that, well, is a great bellwether of politics. Joining us now, a man on the front lines of that very big race. He's a state senator, now running for governor, Eric Nesbitt. Senator, good to have you on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on and covering the important issues here in Michigan, making sure we secure elections and making sure Jocelyn Benson never gets anywhere close to the governor's office.
Yeah, this is a very big moment here. We got these two big prizes, a lot of shenanigans kind of going on in the background. There's been questions about ballot harvesting and other things over the years. You want federal election monitors to come into Michigan. Tell us why.
Yeah, so the former Secretary of State Ruth Johnson, who's a colleague of mine in the state Senate, I'm the Senate Republican leader, and 21 others from the elections chair in the state House, who's the Speaker Pro Tem, Rochelle Schmidt. We all came together and requested Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice to let's do oversight of our elections. Here we have Jocelyn Benson last year allowing Chinese nationals to vote in our elections. We have over 100% voter registration here in Michigan, and we have the Secretary of State running to be the next governor, and she's lost lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit over the last 7 years as she's been Secretary of State here in Michigan. She's ignoring subpoenas from the Michigan State House right now. She's ignored court orders in the past. She has a history of not following the law, and she needs to have somebody some oversight over her. And that's the reason why we sent the letter to Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, and that's the reason why we have to have this oversight.
Yeah. Eric, there's another issue within this that's bugging me, and it is this pipeline that we are seeing from Secretary of State to gubernatorial candidacy. We saw this with Katie Hobbs in Arizona. What could possibly go wrong? The person who's overseeing and administering the elections actually running for the highest office in that state. Should there be something enacted within states that puts a pause or a moratorium between a Secretary of State term before they can run again for another office like governor?
I mean, with what we've seen out of Jocelyn Benson, she's the worst Secretary of State ever, the worst Secretary of State in the nation. She's proven that she's dishonest. She's proven that she's not willing to clean up the voter rolls. And we cannot have her anywhere close to this governorship. We know that. And you're exactly right. It's very troubling on what she's doing and continues to do. And this is why, as I'm running for governor, that we need to draw that sharp contrast to make sure that what we're getting out of this pipeline from these Soros candidates that have been backed across the country, that we actually provide openness to making sure that we only have one person vote, one legal resident here in Michigan vote, and a citizen that's voting. And fortunately, next year, we're working with a broad spectrum of coalitions here in Michigan to put on the ballot citizens-only voting. This is a ballot proposal. It's been very much well received by the grassroots, well received by the populace here in Michigan. That does three things for next year. One, only citizens can vote. Two, that we clean up the voter rolls, and that we also make sure that there's photo ID when you vote. Very common sense. And so we're rolling that out. We're working to make sure they get the ballots there. If people are interested in signing up, go to Citizens Only Voting Initiative here in Michigan. We need to make sure that gets on the ballot next year. We also need to make sure next year we have a strong Secretary of State candidate so that we can clean up this mess that has been left behind by Jocelyn Benson. We know we can win. President Trump showed that last year here in Michigan. We won back the state house. Only state in the nation to actually flip a chamber from Democrat to Republican was here in Michigan. And we did that with the grassroots, while being outspent, but we had the right candidates, we had the right message. We had President Trump on the top of the ballot.
There's something else that you helped prove in the last year, and that is that there are instances of non-citizens voting. Your effort to get this non-citizen voting ballot initiative is actually driven in evidence. You had a Chinese national and I believe 15 or 14 other non-citizens who got all the way through the process up through and including voting. Democrats say that's a conspiracy theory until it isn't, right? It actually happened in Michigan.
Well, And the bigger part about it last year is that she allowed Chinese nationals to vote, and she didn't even catch them. She didn't even catch them.
Yeah.
One of the
federal
guys
prosecutors.
actually
That was the
turned
Justice
themselves
Department.
in. Yeah, one of them actually turned themselves in and is being deported. However, this shows that we have real problems and that we have to step up our guard to make sure that we add these provisions to the Constitution next year. We get a good Secretary of State elected next year, and we make sure Jocelyn Benson, who would be the most liberal governor that Michigan ever seen, gets nowhere close to the governor's office.
Senator, for folks who want to learn more about your candidacy for governor, what's the best way for them to stay in touch and learn more about you?
Yeah, our website, nesbittforgovernor.com. We're on Twitter, Eric Nesbitt. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're really trying to get the grassroots out there. I've been to all 83 counties here in Michigan, continue to raise the money that we need to. We've already raised over $2.7 million, but it's about putting the coalition together that President Trump showed us last year of putting Michigan first, of making sure that as people are having trouble making it here in Michigan, that we make it easier for our families, for our small business owners, for our farmers, and for our kids to make it here in Michigan. That's what we're running our campaign on. And I've been blessed by the folks in the grassroots saying, you know what, it's time for a change. The totalitarianism that we've seen from Governor Whitmer needs to go. We need to make that change, and next year's that change. And I'm going to work hard as a farm boy. I'm a Hillsdale College graduate. I know what freedom looks like, and that's what we're going to bring to Michigan next year.
Yeah, and I think also that citizen-only voting initiative is going to be very popular in the great state of Michigan. Senator, great to have you on the show today. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for covering the news that matters and just providing just the news. Let's get this done. Let's win back our state.
I like it. Thanks so much, sir, for joining us. What a great conversation. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, time to think about health. Our weekly news health update right around the corner after these messages. Hey, America, the FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called home title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document, use a fake notary stamp, then file it with the county, and just like that, boom, they're on record as owning your home. Using your ownership, they then take out loans against your equity or even sell your property, and you're not going to know about it until you get a foreclosure or collection notice in the mail, and that's not going to be a good moment. That's why I partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code JTN at HometitleLock.com. You'll get a free title history report and a free trial. Their $1 million triple lock protection. That's a great deal. $1 million to protect your home. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Find out why I trust Home Title Lock. Protect yourself like I did. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. Go to HometitleLock.com and use that promo code JTN. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code JTN.